What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Good morning, everybody. What is up? What is up? And listen, man, we want to bring you something new. Honestly, shout out to my guy Jake Brown from Mets Daily. He does his little daily videos, usually in the early morning, early afternoon, stuff like that. And they got me to thinking, hey, why don't we do a daily video? So shout out to you, Jake, man. Hope you don't mind. I don't want to say copying of you, but you inspired me. You inspired me to do this. Now we gotta find something to talk about, right? And today's a little easy, and we're calling it Mets Morning Blunt. There's gonna be days it may be an evening blunt. You know what I'm saying? So it might be a wake and bake, or it may be a nightcap. We'll figure it out. There may be days that may be both, but we're gonna try to keep it to one quick, short, blunt video with us giving our blunt opinion or whatever the topic may be. And today's an easy one, like I said, because we had some hirings yesterday, right? We know the Mets have some vacancies as they fired pretty much their whole coaching staff. Well, yesterday they made some hires, and they hired a hitting coach and they hired a bench coach. We first got news about the hitting coach, and that came courtesy of Jeff Passan, as he puts out New York Mets director of hitting development. Let me not say we hired a hitting coach, because did we? We're not even sure yet. I'm not sure. New York Mets director of development Jeff Albert will be in charge of the major league team's hitting program in 2026. Sources tell ESPN. Albert will be in uniform to help fill the void left by the firings of hitting coaches Jeremy Barnes and Eric Chavez. He followed that by saying Albert, 44, served as hitting coach for the St. Louis Cardinals and joined the Mets in 2022. New York's farm system is teeming with good young bats, and the plan is to have Albert run hitting at the major league level and complement him with another hitting coach, sources said. Okay, interesting. Now, my question is, and I gotta be honest, I don't really know who this guy is. I don't really know who this guy is. I didn't even know he was on minor league system. Shout out and credit to those guys that do. Actually, shout out and credit to my guy Litos, who I did a bad job of copying this, but who actually put out a nice post. He coded the hitting coach's resume, right? And this is what that looks like. As this guy, Jeff Albert, was the 2018 Astros hitting coach, assistant hitting coach. Then from 2019 to 2022, he was the Cardinals hitting coach. In those years, the Cardinals won two NL Central pennants, according to Litos here. Four playoff appearances. In 2019, they had a 775 team OPS. In 2022, they had a 745 team OPS, including bench. I'm not sure what the difference is there. I would think the other number included the bench as well, but whatever. In 2023, he was hired by the Mets to be the director of hitting. Right? So he was working with the minor leaguers, and this is something that I've talked about before. Are we in sync as an organization? Right? He was a director of hitting, but were we all implementing the same philosophy? So whatever he's talking about in the minor league system is being talked about at the major league level? Or is he doing his thing and the guys at the major league doing their thing? It doesn't matter anymore, right? Because now he's in charge at the major league level. Now what happens now with the job that he had? I don't know. We'll see. But it goes on. Two things he's known for: being very good at getting hitters to pull the ball in the air, being very good at working with young guys coming up from the minors. Okay, young guys coming up from the minors, great. The resume, pretty damn good. But I have an issue with a couple of things, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what we're here for my blunt opinion. First, I have an issue with that being very good at getting hitters to pull the ball in the air. So we're going to try to make everybody pull guys now? Home run hitters, launch angle babies? Is that what we're going to try to do? Is that what we really want? Because to me, it's about making guys the best of what they can be. But whatever. I'm not going to argue against this guy's resume and results, which seem pretty good. And I know people are excited. Cool. The other issue I have is, as there was a story, and I don't have that here. Let me see if I can get it up real quick. Let me see if we can share this real quick. Because there was a story from Anthony DeComo, right, at an MLB.com. And I just want to highlight something here. Where is it? Here we go. I apologize. Here we go. Let's see. Let's bring this back here. And now we're going to add this. Hold on. Apologies. It's supposed to be a quick video, so this is supposed to be edited out, you would think, right? But here in this article, let's maximize this real quick so you can see it better. in this article here, it says it remains clear if the Mets will hire one primary hitting coach under Albert or multiple coaches. Among the candidates, according to sources, coaching assistant Rafael Fernandez. Where did we hear that name before? Well, we heard it all last season. And again, this is courtesy of MLB.com, Anthony DeComo. We heard it all last season, how this guy had a good relationship with the guys and stuff like that. I think he was brought in to be a left-handed pitcher to the guys in batting practice and all that good stuff. I actually mentioned him when I said, hey, for everybody calling for firing of hitting coaches, when they put an interim guy, this may be your guy. Is that what we want? Anyways, who joined the team as a lefty batting practice pitcher in 2019 and has since become a trusted sounding board for some of the team's biggest stars. Although Albert's title will not technically be hitting coach, that's what I have a problem with. Although Albert's title will not technically be hitting coach, he will be in uniform on the major league bench. His goal will be to improve on offense that finished tied for ninth in the majors in runs per game, despite the presence of star hitters Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, and Brandon Nimmo. In particular, the Mets struggled with their situational hitting early in the season, ranking 27th in majors in batting average with runners scoring position prior to the All-Star break. Though they did largely rectify those issues after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, we just came from a situation where we had dual hitting coaches. And everyone says, well, other teams have two hitting coaches. Hold on. Context. You need to be clear. Other teams have a hitting coach with assistant hitting coaches. Look it up. Because I did. I didn't look all of them up. I looked about 6 teams up that I found. I think there's about 13 altogether. 6 I looked up. There was a clear hitting coach and then assisting hitting coaches. Except for one. I'll give you one. The Dodgers. The Dodgers have their guys both listed as hitting coaches. 2 or 3, however, they're listed as equal hitting coaches. Well, we just came from a situation where Eric Chavez said, I don't think this is good. You need to have one clear guy. He didn't say you couldn't have multiple guys, but you need to have one clear guy is what he tried to say. And I agree with that. Because in the case of Chavez and Barnes, we know they had opposite philosophies. And although they try to come together and implement the same thing to guys or come across like they believe in the same thing to guys, we know that wasn't the case. And then you had guys gravitating one way or the other. That's not good. That's not good. So in my opinion, this needs to be cleared up. Whether it's Rafael Fernandez or whoever the hell it is that comes in. I did see somewhere else where it said, whoever comes in will report to Albert. But still, I don't like the way that's been worded or the way that's being put out. Now, we don't know all the details yet. The Mets haven't even announced this themselves. So we'll see how it plays out. But again, this is just your morning blunt, my morning opinion, my blunt opinion about how I feel about these coaches so far. And what? It's been 12 to 15 hours or so since they were hired. Which leads us today, I said, right? Which leads us to the next hiring, as we found out later in the afternoon that the Mets had hired a bench coach. Right? We find out from Paragazzo. Again, this is who I saw it from on X, so credit to Paragazzo. I don't know if there was anybody else put out there first. I know nowadays you got to be all this credit stuff. Listen, we're blunt thoughts, man. We just here to have fun. We share information just for entertainment purposes and informational purposes. When Paragazzo puts out, Mets are hiring Kai Correa to be their new bench coach under Carlos Mendoza. Correa was San Francisco Giants bench coach from 2020 through 2023, and most recently, Cleveland's Major League Field Coordinator, Director of Defense, Base Running, and Game Strategy last 2 seasons. And again, we're going to shout out and give credit to my guy Litos because we're going to share his resume for Kai Correa. Kai Correa, I'm not sure. But this guy, again, bench coach for the Giants under Gabe Kapler, 2020 to 2023, won NL West pennant while he was there. 2021, top defensive NL infield. 2023, top 5 in outs above average for the infield. 2024-25, Cleveland Guardians Director of Defense, Base Running, and Game Strategy, as we heard there. 2 AL Central pennants during that time for the Guardians. Ranked 11th in defense in MLB in 24. Ranked 5th in stolen bases. All good stuff. All looks good. All of these things could always look good, ladies and gentlemen. But here's my issue with this. Here's my issue with this. From the beginning, I said, whoever the bench coach is, Carlos Mendoza needs to lead the way, in my opinion, if you're going to bring him back. And you honestly believe in the guy, and you're going to back him up as a front office. You let him hire the bench coach, or you let him lead the hiring of the bench coach. Now listen, this may have been the case, and this may have been who Carlos Mendoza landed on. But when I'm seeing and I'm getting stuff, see, when I put out a post and I say, okay, this seems like an organizational hire to me. And you got guys, what do you mean organizational hire? All coaches are organizational hires. Okay. See, because some people are too smart for themselves, right? Some people are too smart for themselves. What I mean by an organization hire is this is a guy that's hired by the front office. This is David Stern's guy, in my opinion, from what I perceive. I could be wrong, but this is David Stern's guy. And then I got to hear about how this guy, he was a hot commodity right now. He was being talked about for all the multiple head coaching vacancies, manager vacancies in the major leagues. He chose us. Really? Why? Because he's angling for the job? Was he given assurances by the front office like, hey, if things go bad here, you're the guy? Or does he feel that himself? Is that someone that you would want as a bench coach? Is that someone that you would want as your second guy in command if you had the job? Someone who's angling for you? Or would you want someone that you trust when this person says, hey, maybe we should do this? Or when you tell this person, hey, go handle this, that he's going to have your best interest and the best interest of the New York Mets, because that's what everybody should have. So I have an issue with how this is coming out. Again, I don't know how the hiring was made, but it seems like an organizational hire. And for people that are saying, oh, well, when Carlos Mendoza gets fired, or if Carlos Mendoza doesn't get off to a hot start, if the Mets get off to a rough start and Carlos Mendoza gets fired, well, there's his replacement. Is that a fruitful situation? Listen, the resume may be great. I'm not saying this guy's not going to bring good things to the club and help us. Hopefully that's what it results in. Hopefully he turns out to be a good bench coach that enhances what's going on here. And now I want someone who turns out that is undercutting the manager because he's just waiting to take his spot. We shall see. I don't know if there's any connection between those two guys. Hey, listen, I just thought about this now. And this shouldn't matter, but is Correa Venezuelan? Maybe Mendoza and him know each other like that? I'll be honest, I talked about bringing in Gardo Alfonso. One of the things I thought about, hey, they both Venezuelan. They speak the same language. And you know what I mean by that. And I don't mean that's bench coach for Gardo Alfonso. I'm just saying hitting coach, bench coach, third base coach. And that may still happen. You may still see another Gardo Alfonso join the team as a third base coach and help with the defense and stuff like that. But right now, although these look like two good hires or one good promotion, I just have a problem when it comes to the hitting coach, as there doesn't seem to be a clear guy. Again, seen a report where it said that the guy that whoever comes underneath will report to him. That's a good thing. But is he the hitting coach, or are we now going to start renaming hitting coaches like we did GMs and they became presidents of a baseball operation? Is that what we're going to do now? We're going to rename the hitting coach? Okay. And as far as this bench coach, great. Anything that makes us better. But I hope that that's what it is. I hope Carlos Mendoza was highly involved in this, and I'm wrong about my perception. I hope he led this hire, and it wasn't led by the front office. That's what I mean by an organizational hire. This should be a managerial hire. Hey, listen, back in the days, the manager pretty much hired all of their guys. A manager would move from place to place, whether it be firing, quitting, whatever the hell it would be, and when he landed somewhere else, you would see him bring along the same guys. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. Because there needs to be trust. There needs to be a relationship there. There needs to be a same kind of, although you want different opinions, for the most part, you want to be headed the same way. Anyways, that's your Daily Blunt, your first edition of your daily blunt, what we hope or what we think will be mostly a morning blunt. We like the mornings. We're going to try to keep it to the mornings, and then it'll come anytime between maybe 8 and 11 a.m. We're going to wrap this one up. We're going to put it tidy together, and it should be out there about 8:30 a.m. for you guys, man. Hope you guys enjoy it. Again, there's something inspired by my guy Jake Brown. Shout out to Jake Brown, doing good stuff, doing his Mets Daily thing. And just want to do a little daily blunt opinion video about the happenings of the New York Mets. Today was easy. There's going to be days it's going to be nothing, and we have to create something. But I hope you enjoy it, everybody. Have a good day. And as always, let's go Mets, baby. Peace.
Click full of animals and we made ourselves with minimal. Fuck you, no subliminals. Putting in this work, nigga. That's why they feelings hurt, nigga. Swear we need a hearse cause we rep our shites to the dirt, nigga. If I'm in the club, I'm